Hey, when I was a teenager, I had this monster car. And when I say monster, it had a very powerful engine with three carburetors. And the only challenge with that is the engine was so powerful, the transmission wouldn't hold up. Every time I tried to use all three carburetors, I'd break a transmission. And that is not a small deal, especially when I was 16. So, I was over there the first time really that I broke the transmission. I was over at the shop and I said, hey, how much is it? And it was like $300. And hey, $300 for a transmission doesn't sound like much today. But remember, this was my first car, and this was in the 19 early 1970s or something like that. Anyway, so 300 was like 3,000 or $4,000, And I remember, now here's the point. I remember thinking, okay, I have an opportunity here to react or not react to this news. It was $300 that I had to pay to get my car back on the road. And I said, well, now I could react negatively to that, or I could react positively, which is, I think, a pretty astounding thing to think about when you're 16. So I said, well, I got $300. I had a job. I lived with mom and dad, of course. So I realized right then and there I had a pretty good situation. I could work, make money, put it in the bank, and not have any expenses. I said, hell, I like this idea. And so I did that. So I said, I'm just going to go with the flow here. I'm going to pay the guy. He's going to fix my transmission. I'm going to be back on the road. I'm not going to react negatively to it. And so that's a lesson, I think. If we don't react negatively to things, they kind of go better. And it's a good idea to kind of pre-plan, maybe accept. I had no idea it was going to cost $300. But when I got the news, I didn't really react to it too much and moved on. And so it was what it was. And that will help prevent those things from showing up again, because if you react negatively, then you put a strong vibrational force out into the universe, which tends to attract more of that sort of thing, law of attraction. So then you have things go better for you. Now, unfortunately, I'm not saying that I didn't break my transmission again, because I did, because that thing was set up like that, unfortunately. So I eventually sold that car. But nevertheless, I told that story for the point of not reacting negatively. So hopefully that was helpful and maybe a little fun. I don't know.